Hi, I'm going to show you today the proper settings for the new Affinity free version, which is version 3. And this will be using the Epson F170 printer on Windows 11 or 10, whatever you're on. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is look at our settings. So I have it open, and we're going to go to Edit, and we're going to go to Settings. And for me, I had to change the user interface because it drove me crazy. Alright, these are your settings for the background levels, and I did everything very high. I guess you can't see. The text contrast I had to have way up there, and the UI brightness. You see, I have to have everything. I have everything high. I don't do anything with this tooltip delay because that's your tools. So if you want to change your settings, in fact, when I open a page and go to New, I'm just going to pick letter just to show you. See, now I'll show you the settings. User interface, and that's what changes the brightness. You can see how it looks. So you might want to open a page. And this contrast is for so you can read actually. So I have it kicked up all the way so I can see it. The artboard you can't see behind you, and then the background I have is white. So I've kicked it up so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Alright, so now we've got our user interface. Next we're going to go to color. Most important thing are your settings. Your color settings have got to be right. So the first one's going to be the RGB color profile. Make sure it's sRGB IEC 61966-21. You're going to see several. Make sure it is set to this one, because if you change anything on here, it's going to change all your colors. It's just not going to look right. Your next one, 32-bit RGB color profile. Again, it'll be the sRGB for linear. CMYK, you're going to use US web coded. Grayscale, Grayscale D50. Lab color, CIE Lab D50, and the most important thing, rendering intent. You will see 3. Perceptual, relative colorimetric, saturation, and absolute. My next video will show you how to proof them and how it looks with each one. Sometimes one person had picked absolute colorimetric instead of relative, and the colors were so off. It took me a while to figure out what she did. So make sure you take a screenshot of this. Keep it at relative colorimetric. That's your best bet. Always keep black point compensation on. Now that's the difference in these settings with a program that's color aware, which means you can set your certain, it is set for, with the ICC profiles, it is, these set the ICC profiles. You won't get that in Silhouette. You won't get that in Cricut or any other program. The only programs that work well with sublimation and color aware are Photoshop, Affinity, and Corel. You won't get these settings with Silhouette. I mean, you can do okay with Silhouette. You won't get the best color. I mean, this will definitely match your screen and what you print and press. So again, make sure you have these in this order. I do not have converted open file to working space. I have that off and worn off. Worn when assigning working profile to uploaded profiles. I have that on. Enable HDR by default and 32-bit RGB views. Keep it on. Open color configuration, unless you know your video card and want to mess around with that, you can. Maybe that's just for, well, I don't have anything on this one. Perform OCIO conversions based on file name, I have on, and warn when converting, I have on. Under the EXR, they're all off. There's nothing to play around with. You can play around with it. These are my settings. So that's the color. We've done the user interface. General. These are my settings. Again, you can play around with them. You can see what I have. You can change the tab to see if it makes a difference for you or what you're comfortable with. But this is what I have. You can look at them. Take a screenshot. That's what I have. I don't even mess with them. Machine learning, I don't do anything with. Performance, I don't do anything with. User interface, we went through that. Tools, you can play around with the tools the way you want. Tool handle size, you can play around with the size of the tools. That's over here. Use wheel mouse to zoom. You can turn that on. You can turn it off. Use scrubby zoom, I have on. Enable dial support. I have no idea what that is. Synchronize tool between documents, I have on. And again, it's more or less to your preference. Look at them and see what you want to do. I don't really play with it. So shortcuts I don't play with. The assistant, I have it enabled. I didn't change anything. If you have Photoshop program with plugins, you can load them now into Affinity. I don't do link services. You can link to Dropbox or whatever you use. Autocorrect, I have it off. I don't want it telling me what text I should use. I learned my lesson with typing words and it changes what it thinks and have been embarrassed. So I keep it off. If you want to keep it on, that's fine. Here are your abbreviations: English, United States. These are the abbreviations. Filler text, I don't do anything. Title exceptions, I don't do anything. And miscellaneous, I don't do anything. And really, that's it. The most important part are the settings and the color. Alright, so now what you're going to do is I'm going to do a new one. This is how your screen is going to look. So, and I also have the Canva AI, since I already am a paid subscriber. I can use the AI with this if you don't have it. I also have it in Photoshop because I use Photoshop a lot. I have not played with it yet because I've been trying to get used to this new version to let people know what to do. So, if you have Canva, that'll be for another video. I haven't played with it yet. So now we're going to start with the document. So we're going to go to File and we're going to go to New. And here are your RGB paper sizes. Here's your orientation. And what I do is I'm going to start with letter. So it's easier for me. And I'm going to do, yeah, let's go that way. Okay. So we're going to have letter. Make sure your documents are in inches, not pixels. Your DPI, 300 DPI, nothing less. The page width, naturally, it's a preset, so it's 8.5 by 11. You can change it right here if you want to do 16 by 20 or an odd one, odd shape that you have. You can do it right here and just change it. Just white it out and change it. Important color formats. Again, this is a reads ICC profiles, and here are some of the things that we have to keep in color format for what we're picking, not for our graphic. But the color format must be the RGB 8/8. Your color profile, which is a document profile, is going to be the sRGB IEC 619-66-2.1. I have that memorized. There are others, but don't confuse it. You have to make that, these two, RGB8 and sRGB. That's your profile for your picture, not for printing. Transparent background. I keep it on transparent. This is for white. Transparent is on because if I have an image that maybe has a white background, there's no way to tell if you're going to have a white background. I like to see how big the image is on the white background. Or if it's like a pale grayish where you can barely see it. That way I can see if I need to remove the background. So that's why I keep it on transparent. Artboard, I keep it off. Image placement is going to be embedded. Prefer embedded, not linked. Embedded. Import text as file linked. The rest of these are all off. I don't do margins. Multi-page, if you're going to do more than one page, you can keep this on. And it will change, and then it'll ask you questions down here. That's up to you. The most important thing I care about is the colors that we set up. All right, so now we're going to create the document. And as you see, this is transparent. This is how I work. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm also on Vector Studio, not Pixel. I'm going to go to File. I've already gone to New. I've already picked a board, transparent. So now what we're going to do is get a graphic. And you're going to go to Place, not Open or Open Recent. You're going to go to Place. Unless you've already opened one, you started it and you left. So you're going to go to Place. And I'm going to find the graphic. It's blue something. Because I've already printed it and pressed it on every machine I have and every Windows, Mac, and everything is perfect. It's blue something. Yeah. I got too many graphics. Blue. Maybe. There it is. This is the one I've done. So I'm going to click it. I'm going to get this arrow. And I'm going to go this way. Now, as you see on the right, there is the width and the height. But I want to make it 8.00 by 8.00. And this is a door hanger I did. It really came out nice. Okay, so that is how you change that, or you can change it this way or that way. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to add a font. Let's see what I've already put. Okay, so we're going to put, we're going to pick a font. This is your font. It's going to be the artistic text tool. Did I do that right? There we go. Okay. Why is it not working? Oh, I don't know why it's not working. Of course. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to pick Snowman Family. Snowman Family. Boy, is that small, but that's okay. We're going to make it bigger. There we go. And we're also going to go up here. We're all... Wait, sorry. I'm going to highlight the whole thing so I can change the font by going up here and the drop down. And as you see, it will, you can choose your font. That's kind of cool. Oh, let's pick, I think I like Georgia. That's what I was picking. Maybe this one? There's so many to pick. Oh, that's a pretty one. Bazooka. Not that one. Eh. Alright, let's just pick something and get this over with. I'll pick this one. Alright, so I can also make it bigger. You can also, here's the point, the font size you can change, as you see. But I'm going to keep it at 76. And then I'm also going to move this up. And I'm going to put something on here and say, let it snow. So back to text. And I'm going to start here. Let it snow. And we're going to change that. And I'm also going to put this down here. And I'm going to change the font. And what was this font? I'm going to go here and I'm going to pick the recent one so it matches. Was it this one? This one. I think this was the one. Alright. So we're going to put this, we're going to move it up here. Come on, move. I don't know how you got there. Make sure you take it off there. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it. Maybe make it a little bigger. Stretch it. Okay. Now, let's say you want to have a color, the font color to match something in the picture. What you're going to do is you're going to go to your color picker and take it off magnification so you get this little hairline. And we're going to pick maybe this blue, or maybe that blue, or that blue, or darker blue, maybe real dark. So that's your hairline. Anything you click on will change this color. Or you can go over here and make it darker. A little darker or not. Or you can do this. Choose the color you want. That's up to you. Again, I'm just playing with it. Go back to what I had. And then I'm going to go do this. Bring it down, and we're going to play a little bit with the font. We're going to highlight it, and we're going to go over here to Quick FX. This is the fun part that I like. Okay, now I've chosen bevel, and you see it changed a little bit, and I'm going to make it a little darker, and you can see it changing. If I don't want the darkness, you can play with this. Make it a little bit. You can do an outline. Let's say you want to change the color to a yellow. Oops. Outline. I guess I gotta click this again. Alright, outline. Drop this down. There's the yellow, and we're going to, as you see the yellow, play around with it, make it lighter, make it darker. There's all sorts of things you can do with this. Make it 3D. You see that? Take off the outline. Give it a shadow. There's all sorts of things you can do with this Quick FX with your font, so it really looks nice. If you don't like it at all, just take it all off. Alright, so now we've done the font. We've done placing this. And now we're going to learn to print with the proper settings for the F170. So we're going to go to File, we're going to go to Print, and I have several printers. Make sure when you choose a printer, you have only one. There are people that come up with 3 F100s because they've installed it so many times. You only need one. Mine's on a network, so I'm going to choose that. I'm going to go to my properties. So the setting is letter, or you can have user defined. If you've changed it to something else, of course, I don't know what you're going to change it to for F170, because it only does letter and I think legal, and that's it. So we're going to keep it at letter, portrait. Now, paper type. There are only 2, and these are the Epson ICC profiles. If you don't have them, you haven't installed them yet, and you'll have to go to the Epson site and download them. And you can always email me or text me or ask me where to get it. Quality, you have a choice of high or standard. I like high. It'll take a little longer to print, but I like high. Most you can get away with standard. Nothing will happen, but I like high. Multi-page is off. I have print preview on. More options. Mirror image. Nothing else here is checked. Output is same as document size. And color correction is going to be custom advanced, not automatic. No color adjustment, because Affinity is doing it for you. That was all those settings we used to choose the correct settings. Maintenance we don't need. And that's how this works. Go to OK. And now we're down to the Affinity settings. Here's your layout. Rasterization is 300 dpi. Remember we set all this up. Bleed and marks, nothing. You don't put anything in there. But color management, most important thing. Your document profile must be the sRGB. That's when we set it up in the beginning when we're picking our paper. And I said this is what it's got to be. The color handling is going to be by Affinity, your app. Not your printer. Your app controls it. It's a color-aware program. Printer profile. Since I have a different printer, we're going to pick the general purpose textile for anything you have. If you're printing on wood, if you're printing on glass, if you're printing on metal, it doesn't matter, or ceramic. Keep it at textile if you pick the other one. If you pick this one, it's going to be dark. Rendering intent, we talked about these. It's always going to default to that because we set it up already. We're going to do relative colorimetric. Up here, your document, fit to printable. Some people scale, you're going to see, and you're going to see it here. It's all going to fit. All sheets and orientation automatic unless you want to change it. It's a landscape. I have it at automatic because I've already set it up in the printer. And then you're going to hit OK. Oh God, please don't print. Okay, so this is my print preview. I have it set to, now don't worry about these colors. Don't worry about it. You say, oh, it doesn't look anything like my screen. That's okay. It's not going to look like it's supposed to look until it's pressed, till the heat activates the ink. The ink is activated by the heat. So don't worry about this. Don't call me and say, oh my God, the colors are way off. It's turquoise. It's green. It doesn't matter. You've already set your profile. I'm going to hit cancel, and you'll see how it prints. And really, that should do it. If you're not sure again of your settings, you want to go back, go to Document Setup. You can always click it here and see your letter, 8.5 by 11. And let's see, here are your color settings we talked about. Get down on it. The RGB, sRGB color profile, transparent background, prefer embedded. So you see everything is okay. Just make sure they have that. And really, that's it. You can always get a hold of me through Facebook in our group, our F170 group, or just message me personally under Helen Coleman, and I'll try and get back to you. Just remember that I am on Eastern Time. So if you're in a different country, just make sure you're not calling me in the middle of the night. Or leave a comment. I'll be sure to look it up on YouTube. This is going to be uploaded to YouTube. And that should do it for the proper settings on the new Affinity on the F170 for Windows. And thank you.